Hey, what's up, guys? It's that time. I talk about this. I do this twice a year, and it literally makes me thousands of dollars every year. And it's so simple if you just pay a little bit of attention and have a little patience. So let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Kyle here, Thrift Boss channel on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with me today. A couple weeks ago, I put out a poll on my community page. 64 votes, not a huge sample size, of course, but overwhelmingly, we had one dominant answer. The poll was, what kind of reselling content is your favorite? And if you didn't see, I'd love to hear your answer. I'll put this on the screen here to see the 4 choices, but let me know your favorite down in the comment section below. What sold videos? That feature sales, that feature eBay sales or Amazon sales, whatnot sales, whatever. 44% of the vote is on that one. And then watching resellers shop out in the wilds was number 2, 28%. That those videos that showcase the treasure hunt, always a good time. And then tips and strategy was 27%. And I personally align. Then 2% was just like hangout conversation type videos. And I personally align with these answers. I think like the best educational tool are the videos that really showed actual data of things that actually sold, because at the end of the day, that's pretty much what matters the most for this reselling business that we all know and love. Is because even when we go out in the wilds or thrift stores and we find things and we flash up things on the screen, comps, similar things that sold in the past, until things actually sell, it just sits in an inventory room. It just sits on a shelf. And there are always occasions where we have good intentions and data suggests that this thing will sell. And for whatever reason, things just don't sell, or they take a really long time to sell. So until things really sell, it's kind of just inventory on a shelf. So things that actually sold, I think, is very educational, and it's also very relatable for us resellers. As even regionally, I notice I travel all over the U.S. and some things are just easier to find in different regions of the U.S. So seeing what other people go out into the wilds and find adds to our own education, and it makes things relatable for us, as it gives us like hope of things to look for out there. And then, tips and strategy are always good, but I would say tips and strategy, there's only so much strategy specifically. Tips, I think, are a little bit different than strategy, but strategy is something that I think, especially as you grow or get more experience as a reseller or been doing it long enough, there's only so much. A lot of this stuff is very much common sense. Tips, there's always things to learn from each other. There's you kind of pick and choose, a little bit of trial and error, and you never know what kind of advice is going to come from which video. Somebody could say something in a certain way, or just like anything. If you ever read a book, if you ever read a book for, say, twice in your life, and one was like when you're 20 and then one when you're 40, it's going to hit different because you have so much life experience. You have so much more experience out in the world, out in real life. And the messages in the book can certainly change. It can hit home. It can touch your heart in a different way. And the same kind of thing. It's like you never really know when the right reseller says the same thing other resellers have, but they say it in a different way that just particularly hits home with you. And you never know when that could strike, or where that could strike, or what point you are personally in your life where something can settle in, where maybe you weren't ready to hear it or didn't want to accept it or whatever, and then suddenly it makes sense. Everything kind of clicks at a certain point. And then the other one, watching resellers out in the wilds, I think we all love that because we love the treasure hunt. That's part of the fun of the game. So I'm going to continue, focusing a little bit more on the what sold, because again, I think a lot of you guys really enjoy that stuff. I'm going to be sprinkling. I mean, that's kind of what I'm already doing on the channel, is kind of a little bit of this and that. But 2 things I'm focusing on this video. I'm going to actually show you a few things that sold last night. It's a Friday morning, so I'm going to show you what Thursday night's sales look like, while also talking about things that once or twice a year I talk about a certain strategy or method that every fall and every spring I do this. And I want to share this stuff here. This is my goblin lair, and all that stuff over there is seasonal stuff. And I want to talk about, I'm going to bring it out of the closet so you get a better look at it. So let's hop into the sales first and see what we sold. Off into the inventory room, and we're going straight. We know where this is. This Baby Bliss Pro, awesome stuff to find out in the wilds. Baby Bliss Pro, this particular model, this one sold for $100 plus shipping. So that's a fantastic sale. And then we got a couple of bras, over-the-shoulder boulder holders. If you ever watched Punky Brewster like me growing up, that makes sense to you. Here they are, a couple of pepper bras. One sold for just under 27 bucks, and the other sold for 17 bucks. I think I priced the $17 one a little too low. Don't know what possessed me to do that, but anyway, they are a little bit different. This one's like a feel-good wire-free t-shirt bra, and this one is a limitless wire-free. The limitless one was the one that sold for 26, and then this one was the $17 one. So I'm guessing the limitless, you're paying for the less more freedom, I should say. More freedom with this bra since it is limitless. This one just makes you feel good, but not quite limitless. So that's a $10 difference. If you just want to feel good, it's $10 cheaper than if you want to unleash your full potential. And then we have these are, I'm in the process of putting my clothes. I have to put all this stuff, and I just keep them in these totes, just like every other reseller on the planet. But this OAS shirt, popular brand. It's only the second or third time I've ever found it. This one is new with tags, and they're pretty expensive. I don't know if it has the price on the tag, but they can sell for 100 bucks even for a shirt. This one I had listed for like 80 bucks. Certainly something I would never wear. It feels like I'm wearing like a blanket all the time, and I'm not, my body say no. But this is a velour shirt, and I took a best offer of 55 bucks on this, which is fantastic because I only have about $5 into that. So a couple of great sales. OAS, really odd material. And then we are off to the Owalas. Where's Kitty Kitty? Oh, hello Kitty. We got a Owala Hello Kitty tumbler, sold for 26 bucks plus shipping, and I only have one left. I think I've sold 5 or 6 of them. 26 bucks is a pretty good price, especially for a Hello Kitty version. I know there's a lot of Hello Kitty fanatics out there, but great sale, 26 bucks. I only have about $4 into this. And then we actually have another Hello Kitty and Care Bears crossover. I'm not sure where that happened. Oh, there it is. Thankfully, because I have a small store, you'll notice like I used to have very specific, I did actually label these when I used to do a lot more clothing, but I don't do as much clothing anymore, but I left the stickers on. So I used to have very typical reseller system, you see, but it even wasn't like a lot of people have like A1, A2, or whatever. I just had men's t-shirts went in there. Pants went in there because I didn't have, I have a small store. I have a traditionally small store. And anyway, we're back to, this is a Hello Kitty and Care Bear crossover. When I first found this, I actually thought it would have more value, but alas, it doesn't. Sold for 22 bucks plus shipping. It's a little big and bulky to sell, but it's very light. So it's probably going to be like 9 bucks or so to ship out, but fun sale. Next up, we have this toy Freightliner, which is somewhere yonder. A bunch of toys I usually put up here. I don't know why that lid is on, but right in the pants, right where it belongs. This Freightliner, and price is on the screen here. I don't remember what it sold for, but this sat around for about 2 weeks, and they seem to be pretty popular, this IXO brand. But good sale again. We have a lot of good sales on Thursday night. It actually sold, like now I'm seeing, just under 34 bucks. Weird price, $33.93. Must have been an offer somebody got creative with. Whenever I say creative offers, I actually makes me feel like little butterflies in my stomach. It makes me excited because I like weird things. And then finally, we have a soccer jersey, not American football, but soccer. Don't know how to say that name. It's a youth jersey, so they don't sell quite as for the same price as the adults. This is a youth large, but it's still sold. It's new with the tags, so it's sold for 40 bucks. Obviously, Nike soccer jerseys, Nike jerseys of any kind are gonna have some value, obviously, but great sale. So that's all the sales. I think it was 6, 7 sales for the weekend, maybe 8, something like that. And it's just about $400 in sales going out Friday morning. So let's hop into the Goblin Lair. and check out some of this stuff and talk about it. So this is everything taken out of the goblin lair. Everything over to the left here, this is like fall and autumn specific type things. A lot of sports that start up, basketball, football type things, college football, collegiate football stuff. And then over here we have a lot of colder weather. We're talking like Christmas. We can see some specific Christmas things here, and Halloween is coming up. Some wool sweaters. So this is it, guys. This is what I do twice a year. So I really take advantage of, like right now, as the seasons are transitioning, you will see a lot of deep discounts, even at Goodwill. There actually, you saw a lot of this stuff in a video last during the spring, when Goodwill was actually clearing out a lot of their, maybe it wasn't the spring, maybe it was like near Christmas. I don't exactly remember it was, but you actually saw a lot of this stuff. You can even see some of the Goodwill. I don't know if it has a date on there. 2, 3. So this was back in February when they're clearing out a lot of the seasonal stuff, and they do these great sales. Even Goodwill, I don't recall, but I think it was a 75% off, like Halloween specific stuff. So I cleared them out. You know, when this thing, if I'm only paying whatever it was, $1, you know, $1.75 for these things, basically I just put it in the closet and I wait until this season. You know, it's only 6 months or so of storage, and then I start listing it because I can maximize the profits on this stuff. And you know, this kind of thing will certainly sell throughout the year. There's nothing obviously wrong with trying to sell this stuff throughout the year, but as the seasons roll around and people are then building up their cool Halloween villages, then they pay up for this stuff. So it's this combination of buying stuff at an extreme discount and then maximizing the profits by just simply having some patience and holding this stuff, you know, bury it in a closet like I do. I got all these things, all these costumes. They were like $2.50 for some of these things. This was, you know, 75% off, whatever that is. $1.75 for this, and I think this at last year it was a lot more popular. So I think this was actually pretty expensive last Halloween, but I think I can still get like 40 to 50 bucks or something like this. And all these Halloween costumes, again, I only have like $2 into these things, so I don't need to get crazy prices. I can sell these things for, you know, 25 bucks a pop, and I'm making good money. Same with a lot of this stuff. You've seen me pick this up during the summertime. People are clearing out their closets and getting rid of football stuff, and you know, this stuff will sell throughout the year, but I'm wait until the season's here and really maximize on all this stuff. You saw these vintage hats. These are amazing. These vintage starter hats. These were in a video very recently, and I got them for like $1 or $2 a piece. And this is probably the best. I had a hard time getting rid of this. I will be listing this, but it's probably the coolest thing. It even makes a cool. Let me see if I can make the noise. I think that's like the coolest thing you could ever have in your yard, and I would keep that up for Christmas personally. Thumbs up in the comment sections if you're with me. Then we got these, you know, I got these wool. These are brand new with tags. This Aaron brand, made in Ireland wool, and these go for like 60 to 80 to 100 bucks. And again, I could have sold them in the warmer weather, but why would I do that? Everybody's a masochist if they're trying to wear this in the summer months. So now it's getting colder out, people are going to be starting, you know, this is obvious. I don't need to explain it. This is another thing you saw in the thrift store. I got this at an extreme discount, this Ibex vest. And again, this is like 50, 60 bucks, even used, this wool vest. So then you can see over in this Christmas stuff, same, they'll probably sell throughout the year, but why sell it throughout the year when I can just focus on the season? And some of this stuff is not going to have too big of a swing in price, of course, but it's significant enough for me and easy enough to just put it in storage and just wait. And some great Guess shoes, some vintage sweaters, some brand new Under Armour stuff they got for super cheap. I'm guessing this is probably like 30 bucks on eBay, something like that. Some Tim Burton, some Burton snowboard pants. These freeze things I got, I think these actually came from Home Depot. I don't go to Home Depot much to check out their clearance sales, but you know, they always have a clearance rack at their end caps. And I happened to see these. They were down to like $250 or something like that at the end of last winter, and they sell for like $25-ish. So, you know, I got like $10 into them, and I can sell them for, you know, I can gross about $100. Same with this, some Burton snow boots. So again, that's just, I talk about this once or twice a year. I kind of highlight this because it makes such a big difference for profits in my pocket and my iced coffee budget. And actually, before I forget, hanging out next to the goblins are these elf on the shelves, and I have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 of these. And this is awesome. Again, these are other things that can totally maximize and take advantage of the season coming up. I only have about $2, a little over $2 into each of these things. And they don't sell for a ton of money. Currently, it even looks like they're about, you know, it's only mid-September, and it's about $20 to $25, including shipping. So I don't know how much more they'll be up, but even if it's like $5, even if it goes up to $30, maybe it's 35. But I'm going to list these probably mid-November. Most people, unless again you're a masochist, you don't really get into Christmas until around the Thanksgiving season. So I'm not going to put them up too early. I'll try to maximize even close, because then once you know, a lot of folks out there like to start their decorations for Christmas right after Thanksgiving, and these are all brand new, and they have actually a boy, and they have that one over there is girl. So I don't know the ratio of what I have, but I think the price is about the same regardless. And again, I got about $2 into these, even if they're only selling for $25 with shipping. Say I make $10 a pop, that's $170 for something that I paid roughly $34 to $40 for all of these. So amazing profit. And then also what I do is, as the seasons change from warm weather into the colder weather, this stuff obviously could still sell. This glove is like a $125 glove, and you can see that. Look it up for yourself if you want. Maybe it's like $100. I haven't checked in a while, but I think I've been trying to sell it for $125. Anyway, bathing suit. So anything colder weather, that's going to be better in the spring and summer months. As we're going into colder months, this kind of thing, I'm going to start stacking back here and waiting till it's warmer out, and then maximize those profits. And again, this is just an idea. It's something that's been working for me for the past few years. But again, it's not like this stuff doesn't sell throughout the year, and I can't say with 100% certainty that you'll get, you know, X amount of percentage or dollars more by waiting to sell some of this stuff. But certainly, I mean, it's almost common sense. Like, when you're buying cold weather boots, when you're buying ski boots, when you're buying Halloween costumes, obviously that kind of stuff is common sense, where people are going to pay more as the season of necessity for them comes around. That's common sense. But again, some of this stuff will certainly sell right around the same range that it would year round. I just choose to hold on to it to try and increase the potential of the amount of money that I make on this stuff. Some stuff goes on clearance because it wasn't popular, because it didn't sell. So it might not be stuff that people necessarily want either. So keep that in mind. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. And we'll see you guys out in the wilds.